team. My name is Sunday Michael Ogo. I'm a writer for Daily Trust newspaper. I have a question and some concerns. First of all, I want to congratulate you for this new and bold initiative. I would like clarifications. With this new initiative, are you now going to be paying less attention to the FPIs and rather drive this initiative, or you will have to drive the two of them side by side?
So on the question as to whether or not it is not an intention to undermine earnings coming from the FPIs, let me say this. I read in my report that there are 4 sources through which we generate earnings to fund our obligations, import obligations. Through revenue from crude, sales, export, through revenue from FPIs or FDIs or sales, through diaspora remittance, and through exports. Unfortunately, more of our emphasis have always been on export earnings from crude, and when we begin to sneeze, particularly when crude price drop, we now begin to resort to FPIs and FDIs. We are not saying that we'll ignore them. They are our partners, we need them. However, we are saying that we cannot continue to put all our hopes as a country on earnings from a source that we cannot control, or earnings from a source that comes in when things are good for us. But the moment things begin to suspect that things are not good, or results are dropping, or there's some panic here and there. In fact, that is the time when we think we would have needed them. That is the time they want to run away. We cannot, as a country, depend on that alone. We will depend on it, but we will not. We should not, as a country, depend on that as a source from which we earn foreign exchange to fund our foreign exchange import obligation. We have to go back to the pre-oil period where we funded our import obligation also from export earnings. And that is the reason we are saying that today the journey begins. That journey to re-establish ourselves, to find ourselves again, saying we will work hard to boost our. Luckily, this country is endowed. Is it cocoa? Is it cashew? Is it tin and columbite? Anything. This country is endowed. And we are saying that certain things happened that made our people to abandon them. They talked about port congestion. They talked about different things, rebates to support them. We are saying we will put this in place. We are saying for them to process them into semi-finished or finished goods that where there has been a lot of value addition that would have created employment, that we will fund their obligation. We will fund them to acquire plants and equipment. We will fund them to open factories for 10 years loan and 2 years moratorium, and indeed at 5%. That is the only way people can now be encouraged again. And they say, wow, I'm no longer going to go to a bank and look for a loan to conduct a manufacturing and productive activity that will result in export earnings, and take the loan at 20 or 30%. That I can now go to a bank and benefit from an intervention facility at 5%. That will certainly reduce the cost of production. And that when I produce or process this product, as it were, and I conduct export, and I sell my export proceeds into the market, that I will get an FX rebate, naira for dollar, that will encourage me to do more and do more. Gentlemen and ladies, I am optimistic because if you look at it, if you go to a London market today, you go to a market in US, you go to a market in South Africa, you find even our own granite, cleaned granite, right? You will find chin-chin, they call it chin-chin, right? You will find it in a store. You will find even our beans, because one of the exporters gave some very, very painful experience that he had to export our own, you see how you call black-eyed beans from Nigeria to India, where it is processed. What does the processing entail? Grade it to make sure that from equal sizes, make sure there are no beetles inside it. You see weevils, you call it. You package it well, and then he now that Indian exports it to London. I will give you the price, right? He said he exports our green eye beans at, is it $1,200 to India. But from India, after it is graded, prepared and packaged, it is exported to London at $3,500. What a loss to a country. That is what we are saying. That we should not allow our country to miss out from these brilliant opportunities. What does it do? This will create more jobs for our people. A lot of people can now go to farm. They can grow them. They earn money from it. Others will take it up from there. Logistics and transport it. Others will take it from there, process it and export it and earn dollars. That is how to grow a country. That is how to grow an economy. That is how we can do things well for our country, and all of us will be happy that we are witnessing prosperity in our country. That's what we are saying. We are determined to do this, and that is why we are saying it is a journey that starts today, and we will need the cooperation and support of everybody to see to it that we achieve this goal. So it's not intended to say whether we are trying to say FPIs, they are not important. Everybody is important. But we want to be sure that we are in control of our destiny as a country.